All right, let's jump right into a high-stakes scenario that's probably going to sound pretty familiar to anyone running a business. You sit down, ready to use Claude to work through a massive, highly sensitive problem, but you freeze right before hitting send.
Imagine you're a startup founder, and you're privately running the numbers on a literal company-ending pivot. Suddenly, it hits you. This conversation is going to sit in your chat history forever. Claude builds a persistent memory profile, which means it's absolutely going to remember this highly confidential idea the next time your co-founders are looking over your shoulder.
So let's talk about this privacy problem, and more importantly, the one-click fix.
There is actually a fix for this massive privacy risk, and it really does take exactly one click. Look at the difference here. On the left, we've got your regular chat. It has a standard white border and sits fully visible in your history list. But on the right, that's Incognito chat. A stark black border frames the window. And most importantly, you get this little ghost icon right up in the corner. That single click gives you immediate visual confirmation that you are officially off the record.
Okay, let's move on to the key stat.
Now, before we look at how to actually use this, you might be wondering if this feature is locked behind some expensive premium tier. Well, here's the best part. Incognito is universally available across the board. Whether you're on Free, Pro, Max, Team, or Enterprise, you have this feature. Universal access at zero extra cost.
So let's break down the mechanics of what's actually happening under the hood when you toggle this on. A temporary chat does three very specific things. First off, it stays completely out of your visible history list. Second, it's deliberately walled off from Claude's persistent memory synthesis, so whatever you say here isn't going to suddenly surface in your future sessions. And third, the conversation is entirely excluded from Anthropic's AI training pipelines.
But you've got to be aware of the pitfalls here, because there are two crucial exceptions. Closing that window gives you user-level privacy for memory and training, sure, but it doesn't instantly delete the chat from Anthropic's backend. They keep it for at least 30 days for safety purposes. Plus, and this is a big one, it doesn't make you invisible to your boss. If you're on a managed team or enterprise plan, account owners can still pull these incognito chats through data exports and their compliance API.
Let's look at one practical example, the secret pivot.
Bringing it back to our startup founder who desperately needs Claude's analysis, but really can't risk contaminating future team sessions. They open Claude outside of any project workspace, click the ghost icon, verify that the black border is active, and feed the AI a highly confidential query. Basically, they ask, we have 12 enterprise clients, but I'm thinking of pivoting to B2C. What are the top 5 risks I should consider?
Claude instantly fires back a structured list of risks. It points out the higher consumer acquisition costs, a much longer path to revenue, brand confusion among existing clients, massive operational complexity, and major team skill gaps. And honestly, the beauty of this workflow, it delivers all of this incredible high-level analysis without baking a single word of that knowledge into its permanent memory.
But here is the absolutely critical workflow habit you have to build so you don't lose your work. You must remember to copy the useful parts over to a local document before you click X. Because once you close that session, the chat vanishes permanently. There's no undo button and no way to convert it into a saved chat later on. It's just gone.
So when should you actually use Incognito? When does this mode really earn its keep in your daily workflow? Well, you should definitely use it for sensitive medical queries, reviewing confidential contract text, or pasting in your personal financial figures. It's also fantastic for a clean slate technical review, giving you an unbiased second opinion that isn't colored by any past assumptions. Just keep in mind the one strict limitation. It simply will not work inside a project workspace. You have to navigate back out to the standalone main interface to even see that ghost icon.
Which brings us to the key takeaway.
After walking through all the mechanics, the exceptions, and the workflow, here's the ultimate lesson you really need to remember. Incognito mode is a precision privacy tool. It's not a panic button. It's designed to keep conversations hidden from your own future self and the broader training pipeline, all while keeping Claude's immense analytical capabilities completely intact. It's not going to bypass safety reviews, and it definitely won't hide your activity from your IT department. So use it purposefully.
Are you ready to master your data footprint and maybe see 3 more worked examples of this feature? You can find the full chapter, along with a much deeper dive into common pitfalls, inside the Claude Master ebook at claudemaster.net. So I'll leave you with this. What confidential assumption are you currently afraid to test, simply because you thought someone else might see your search history? Maybe it's time to click that little ghost icon and find out.